Hey sisters, in this video, I'm going to talk to you about insulin resistance, the symptoms, and how you can treat it. I'll also be talking about why this is affecting your ability to lose weight with PCOS. Stay tuned until the end when I'll share one of the easiest things you can do daily to improve insulin resistance starting today. Let me know in the comments below if you have insulin resistance and some of the ways that you've been able to treat it. Also, don't forget to give this video a like to promote some good blood sugar balance. It's reported that 80% of women with PCOS struggle with insulin resistance. And why is that important? Insulin resistance can make it very difficult to lose weight, and over 70% of women with PCOS are overweight or obese. Also, when we leave insulin resistance unmanaged, it can increase our risk for other diseases like type 2 diabetes. So this is definitely not something to just be brushed under the rug. The good news is it can be reversed and it's completely preventable. But before we dive into treatments, let's recap what insulin resistance is and what symptoms to look out for. Insulin is a hormone that's responsible for blood sugar control. When we eat a high-carb meal, the carbs are broken down into sugar. Insulin takes that sugar and gives it to our cells to burn for energy. Think of insulin like a key and the cell like a lock. Insulin unlocks the cell to give it sugar. However, after having a high-carb diet all the time, your cells get pretty tired and end up becoming resistant to insulin. That key won't open the lock and your body isn't able to process sugar for energy, and then we end up gaining weight. This doesn't only happen from having a high-carb diet though. It can also be from having chronic inflammation, which every woman with PCOS has. And a lot of us are blamed for our weight gain as a result. Or it could be from having a genetic predisposition to insulin resistance. For example, if there was diabetes in your family, insulin resistance could have been passed down to you. So it's important to know that PCOS and insulin resistance, it's not your fault. We can heal it. In any case, the cells are resistant to insulin. That key doesn't fit in the lock. And now we have high insulin in our bloodstream and high blood sugar as well. This is a recipe for exponential weight gain because insulin is a fat storage hormone. Chronic high levels of insulin blocks fat burning. That high blood sugar is also stored as fat as a result. Next thing you know, we're struggling with what seems like uncontrollable weight gain because anything and everything we eat seems to stick to us. Not only is weight gain an issue, but the high levels of insulin triggers our ovaries to overproduce testosterone, leading to many PCOS symptoms I'm sure you're familiar with, like hair loss, facial hair, acne, and anxiety. Again, don't worry. Part of reversing PCOS is healing insulin resistance. So your metabolism improves, and not only are you able to lose weight, but your PCOS symptoms like the hair loss, facial hair, and acne improve as well. So, what are some of the signs and symptoms of insulin resistance? First, if you carry a lot of weight in your midsection, this can be a sign of insulin resistance. When you're insulin resistant, fat gets stored in places where it typically wouldn't, like around the organs and the abdomen. This is directly related to insulin resistance and can make it very frustrating to lose belly fat. Number 2. Swollen ankles, feet, or hands. One of the other roles of insulin is to tell our kidneys to retain water. This is really interesting because I've heard from many sisters who said they actually went down an entire shoe size after getting their insulin resistance under control. It's kind of surprising and actually so cool. Number 3, feeling hungry after a meal and having sugar cravings is a sign of insulin resistance. If you're reaching for a piece of chocolate or a cookie after every meal, I want you to think about why. This is just because your body is not regulating your blood sugar levels properly because of insulin resistance. You ate already and the energy is there, but your body isn't able to use it because your cells are resistant. The high level of insulin after your meal is tricking your body into thinking that you need to eat more, and that's why you feel the cravings. Sometimes the cravings for chocolate and sweets are really just unbearable, but it's only because your body is starving from not being able to use the sugar broken down from your meal efficiently. Number 4, Dark skin patches and skin tags. High levels of insulin in your blood can trigger the appearance of dark, dry patches of skin. Usually, you'll see this on your skin around your armpits, neck, or groin. Tags of skin on your neck or armpit can also be an indicator of insulin resistance. Number 5. Frequent urination and extreme thirst. If you always have to pee, it means your kidneys have to make more urine to pass the sugar from your blood. If you're flushing water from your body, then you're gonna be thirsty afterwards. Number 6, irregular menstrual cycle. High insulin causes the ovaries to make more testosterone, which triggers irregular periods and ovarian cysts. If you haven't had a period in a while or your periods are irregular, this could be a sign of insulin resistance. Number 7, elevated blood sugar. If you have a blood sugar meter, you can actually check your blood sugar before you eat and 2 hours after you eat. 2 hours post-meal, your blood sugar should return to baseline. If it hasn't, then that can be a sign of insulin resistance. Now remember, this is just a snapshot because there are several factors that can affect your blood sugar other than your diet and other than what you just ate, like your exercise or how well you slept and how well you're managing your stress. So these are the 7 common symptoms of insulin resistance. Like I said earlier, it can be reversed. Don't worry. Here are 7 main ways you can control your insulin resistance. Grab a pencil. First, eat less foods that spike your blood sugar. If you look at your macronutrients, carbs, protein, and fat, you'll see that carbs spike your blood sugar the most. Protein is second and fat is third. Most foods have a combination of these macronutrients, but if you're insulin resistant, you want to be focusing on creating a balanced plate with some carbs paired with fat and protein. To understand what I mean by balance, check out this video I made about what I eat in a day with PCOS. Sometimes, however, creating a balanced plate simply isn't enough, and we may need the help of a supplement. The supplement that I suggest is Ovasitol, and I've linked it in the description below. This is my favorite supplement for PCOS. So many sisters have messaged me about how this has helped them get their period back and heal their cravings and help with their PCOS symptoms. I can say the same because I had cravings, and when I would take Ovasitol, literally 15 minutes later, the cravings would go away. It really gets down to that root cause of the issue on a cellular level, so I love this supplement. My second tip is to eat less frequently. Stick to your meals and have maybe 1 or 2 snacks in between them if you really feel like you need it. This is really effective in reducing insulin levels so they're not constantly elevated. This is especially accomplished if you're choosing snacks that are high in fat, like nuts, which won't spike your blood sugar or create an insulin response as much. My third tip is to try going gluten-free. This is because gluten causes inflammation, and you want to understand if it's triggering inflammation for you. In order to do that, you would have to cut it out for at least 30 days to see how your symptoms improve. Inflammation caused by foods like gluten makes your cells lock up and become resistant to insulin. Part of healing insulin resistance is healing inflammation. So going gluten-free can help with this process. To learn more about ways to reduce inflammation, I've made a video about foods to avoid with PCOS. Fourth, try going dairy-free. Dairy contains a hormone called insulin-like growth factor 1. This elevates insulin levels in our body when we eat it, and so ultimately contributing to insulin resistance. In fact, 1 cup of yogurt can actually create an insulin response equivalent to eating 2 slices of bread. Not to mention, dairy can be very inflammatory as well. So that combination of inflammation and insulin is a recipe for triggering insulin resistance. Try cutting it out for at least 30 days to see how it affects your symptoms. My 5th tip is to get off the treadmill and stop doing long, intense workouts. Here's why. Let's say you were going on a long run, like I used to go on, because I thought I would burn more calories and lose weight. Well, on that long run, your body is pumping sugar into your bloodstream so you can burn it during the run for energy. It's like a survival mechanism. But when we struggle with insulin resistance, we're not able to burn that energy up, and instead it stores as fat. And you may find that you don't see results, even though you're working out really, really hard. Or perhaps you went to back-to-back cycling classes and didn't lose a single pound. This is because your body is under stress and holding on to the weight. This is why we focus on slow, weighted workouts in the sisterhood, because we want to help improve the insulin resistance while we're working out so our metabolism works better and we efficiently lose the weight. My sixth tip is to get better sleep. One study showed that just 1 week of sleeping only 5 hours a night reduced insulin sensitivity by 24%. Not getting enough sleep can make a huge difference in your ability to reverse your symptoms, especially if you're trying to lose weight and implementing all of the tips above. My seventh tip is to keep stress levels low. If you aren't managing your stress, then your blood sugar will go up as a result and contribute to the cycle of insulin resistance. Some ways I like to manage my stress is by doing a morning meditation, journaling when there's a lot on my mind, or doing a relaxing yoga session before bed to wind down. All right. Now that you've got the rundown of my tips to manage insulin resistance, here's a super easy way you can improve your insulin levels. Of course, this isn't the end-all, be-all of managing insulin resistance, but it is a game changer. Okay, so what is it? Drum roll, please. Go on a walk after your meal. A walk? I know. Well, studies show that walking significantly reduces insulin levels. Going on a walk is great for blood sugar control after meals. And if you're walking regularly, it can really help improve insulin sensitivity. Going on a walk after lunch is something me and Sirag typically do in the afternoons. Not only is it great for blood sugar control, but it also prevents you from having sweet cravings after your meal. Isn't that right?
Yes.
You would be surprised how much a relaxing walk can help improve your symptoms of insulin resistance and reduce stress. So sisters, these are my tips to help you manage insulin resistance. I hope you understand your symptoms better and feel more empowered to incorporate some of the treatments I've talked about in this video in your daily life. And if you'd like step-by-step videos, weekly plans, and more to help with your insulin resistance and PCOS weight loss journey, I'll include a link in the description for the Sisterhood, the biggest community of women learning to thrive with PCOS. Let me know in the comments below if you have insulin resistance and some of the ways that you've been able to treat it. Until next time, sisters, catch my upcoming videos by clicking the subscribe button, and don't forget to give this video a like. And if you need a little help finding out your PCOS type or whether or not you have insulin resistance, take the quiz in the description. See you soon.